voice of Killer Cross.
This is the pretty badass Kelly Klein.
The interview queen, Alicia Atu.
This is AJ Kirsch, one half of the MLW commentary team.
This is Pretty Savage.
We're about to take it to the max.
And take it to the max.
It's time to take it to the max.
It's time to take it to the max.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Max. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is PromoBowl champion, Maxi winner, and the current reigning Iron Bank contract holder, the moneymaker, Chris Durham.
Good talking with you today. I love that introduction, and I'm looking forward to this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. First and foremost, Mr. Chris Durham, I look at it from a stance too. You and I, geez, man, we've known each other, what, like 5 years now? That's nuts.
Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Absolutely. I think around that time, I was a year into podcasting, and I had started working with Max a little bit before becoming fully on. So I've known you around the same time as I've known Dazzy, and you and I, we've done shows on the Keita and Jay show, and we did the post game with my mom and I for pay-per-views with you guys. Like, I cannot believe, man, that's already been 5 years, man.
I'm telling you, that's unbelievable. It really doesn't seem like 5 years, but yeah, that's about right. It sounds about 5 years. Absolutely. That's crazy. Craziness.
And I think you and I both got in around the same time. So I was 2015. You started, like, was that your, like, initial, like, forte, I guess, if you will, into podcasting? Was it around 2016?
I met Keita and Jay around 2016. I started podcasting around 2014, but I really got into it, like, heavy around 2016.
Nice, because I think you, and I mean, Dazzy has always given me the name of the podcast machine, but you're like a podcast machine in your own right. You got the cash in, you talk football, you talk baseball, you talk wrestling. You're all over the place too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we got the We Talk Next podcast, we got the Grand Slam podcast, which I just did yesterday with Jay talking baseball. We got the 3 and Out podcast. I got my stuff, like I said, I do with the cash in. I'm a busy man. I'm trying to keep up with you the best I can.
Hey. I mean, now you're getting into the interview side of things, man. For those who have not checked out Chris's interview with Amber Nova, you killed it, man. For your first interview, you hit it out the park, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had a blast talking with Amber. That was so much fun. I was nervous. Like, that was my very first interview. I hope to do more, but that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I've got so much good feedback from it. And the best thing about that was to get feedback from people that aren't even wrestling fans. I had people that don't even follow wrestling. Like, oh my God, I was impressed with her story. They did such a great job. That really showed me that I really did a good job. When you have like non-wrestling fans telling you that they appreciated that interview, that's all the satisfaction I needed right there.
Oh, absolutely. I look at it from a stance, too, for those who are the casuals, if you will, and then you just go in and listen to a person's story. And I'll tell you this right now, and I'll tell anybody from the interviewer side of things, who's someone who's been interviewing since 2015, I look at it from a stance to anybody who's new like yourself, Chris, and anybody wants to get into it. You give people the platform to tell their story and just have a fun time and be professional and go in there just being humble and having fun and respectful. That is the key to just a great interview. And, of course, just the overall shooting the breeze aspect. So, man, you knocked it out.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's very good advice right there. I like that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Also, I will say this, when it comes to all aspects, I mean, me with pop culture and wrestling and what I'm doing now with LFC and what you're doing, I look at it from a stance too, like, isn't that great, the part of podcasting where you can just provide the variety? It's something that you know, and you're really tuning yourself up and amplifying yourself, but really providing that variety for people. Like, it's like, okay, I don't just talk wrestling, I talk this, I talk that. We really spread it out for everybody.
Absolutely. Because I love talking wrestling. I can talk wrestling nonstop all day, 24/7. But also, I have other interests too. I love sports. I love talking baseball. I love talking football. I love talking basketball. I like talking pop culture and stuff like that. I can talk, video games. I like having a wide variety of topics. I'm the one that put all my eggs in one basket. I can talk about a variety of different topics, things that I like.
Absolutely. And I also look at it from a stance too, like what I always loved about the variety that you and I have. First and foremost, guys, if you want to make Chris happy and smile, just send him the Tevin Campbell I'm Ready album. Your boy, you love some Tevin Campbell, man. As long as I've known you, just put on some Tevin Campbell and you're in the mood, bro.
Put on some Tevin Campbell or some Drew Hill and I'm a very happy man.
That's it. I mean, first and foremost, you send me, and you know I love this, and this is why I love you, and you're my buddy. So you send me what your playlist is going into the morning. You got the Joe, My Name is Joe album, like right there, boom. And I'm like, that is such an underrated album, and a lot of people don't give that enough credit, from the I Wanna Knows to the Treat Her Like a Ladies to the Stutter from Joe. Like, you already had me smiling when I woke up, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, I had heard that album obviously, but I had forgotten how good that album was. I had like re-downloaded it recently on my phone, and I was like, wow, let me listen to this. And I'm like, man, there's some really good songs on here. That's like you said, a very underrated album from a very underrated artist too. Those, they talk about a lot of the greats in the R&B game. There's so many greats. The Tevin Campbells, the Ushers, and you got the groups, your Boys to Men, your Drew Hills, your New Additions. But Joe, he's a very, very talented artist with a very good voice.
I mean, that intro when he's talking about, make your body like a melody. And I'm like, you're just it. What's my name? My name is Joe. Yeah, like, that's not like that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Right
I recommend that album to anybody that hasn't listened to it. I highly recommend checking that album out.
Exactly. And yes, it may be 21 years old, but it's still one of the best albums of all time from an R&B standpoint.
I was grooving, man, all the way to work. I was grooving all the way to work. I was like, man, like I said, I really forgot how good this album is. I mean, it's just from top to bottom, just one of those albums you can put on from the beginning to end. You're going to enjoy it.
Well, somebody's got to be on top. Yep.
Yes. I'm like, oh, yes. I love it, my friend.
So I have to ask you, though. Original Stutter, the original one where he's like, the videos, he's in the car and he's going to his girl's job to confront her because he thinks he's cheating on her, or the remix from the Double Take soundtrack? If you had to pick.
Both are good, but that remix is just something special about that remix. I mean, you add Mystical to that. I mean, like, come on. Mystical always brings that energy. So I got both are good, but I got to give a slight edge to that remix.
You see, for me, too, I would also have to agree, because who doesn't like, quit your lying, help, but watch yourself, like that?
I know, yes. I mean, come on. I mean, like I said, Mystical always brings that energy. How can you not like that, man?
It's one of those things, too. Like, this is also the early 2000s, man. Like, this is Mystical, like, Shake Your Ass, Watch Yourself just came out. This is Joe coming off of, the All That I Am album with All the Things Your Man Won't Do and songs like that. And coming off of I Don't Want to Be a Player No More with Big Pun.
Very true. Like, at the peak of both of their careers.
And this is when Nickelodeon actually had good special guests, because Joe also did an appearance on, remember Taina with Christina Vidal back on Nickelodeon?
Yes. Oh, yes, I do. I do remember that show. Yes.
So he was on there on one of the episodes, and they had an episode with 3LW on when actually Nickelodeon would have good shows.
Good shows, yeah. Back in the day when actually Nickelodeon was actually a decent network to watch, yes.
Before we got on this, and I mean, DJ Valentino being a part of SummerSlam, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool, but DJ Valentino, Cardi B, we're going towards what's hip and what's new now, but I'm like, okay, I mean, that's going to make it amplified, I guess. So DJ Valentino's done some good work.
Yes, but like I said, it's not like back in the day. It's not like you can't compare. You really can't.
Well, that's the thing with wrestling themes, Chris, because with SummerSlam, like, SummerSlam would always have like this intense vibe to it, and then they started having people like Demi Lovato, freaking Cruel for the Summer, and Wind Up by Cataluna, which I was there in attendance for SummerSlam 07. Remember the song by Cataluna, Wind Up? Look at me, Cat, to go ahead to Wind Up. They booed the hell out of her, and I felt bad because this poor girl didn't do nothing. They just hated the song, and they booed the poor girl.
Wrestling fans can be harsh. We know this all too well. Wrestling fans, they do not hold back.
This is also New Jersey we're talking about, too. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, got to throw that in there, too. Absolutely.
Also in the Washington, Maryland area there, Mr. Chris Durham. Y'all are some passionate Rabbit fans, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've talked to you. I've been to many shows in the area. Oh, yes. We are a passionate fan base here. Definitely.
Also, I will say this, going back to podcasts for a second, I think what also drew me to you guys was you guys did the We Talk NXT podcast, which you guys still do to this day. And not a lot of people are doing that, like where they just focus on one focal brand or NXT. Like, they'll talk about wrestling and companies and various things to do with wrestling, but nobody was really focusing on the NXT brand like you guys were.
No, they weren't. And that's one of the things that appealed to me about that show, because, like you said, a lot of people weren't doing that. So there was something that's very unique at the time. And also, too, that gave me my first opportunity to actually like host the podcast. Like I said, that's when I really started getting heavy in the podcasting game. I was actually the first guest, because when Keita and Jay started doing NXT at the time, we call it We Talk Next now. When they first started doing that show, it was just the two of them. They weren't having guests, so I was the first guest on there, and I also had my first opportunity to host as well. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I love what they did with that, and then to see where it's at now with me and Keita, it's awesome.
And first and foremost, that's what I also love, that it's We Talk Next now, because that's what NXT is. They're putting up the next generation and the next batch.
That's when we made the change. That's when we switched it up.
And it's like, how can you not? And also, I got to say, from where it was in 2010 when it was just the obstacle courses and the challenges to where we are now, it's like, it's truly amazing to see the evolution of NXT.
It really is. I didn't watch it a whole lot back then. I really kind of got like heavy into it right around the time they started putting it on the network. That's why we started doing the shows and everything. But just to see the growth from where it was to where it is now, it's just every time I think about it, it's just amazing to see the growth of that brand.
It's interesting because when I first got started in watching NXT, I would watch it on sites. I'll just leave it at that, through various means. And finding a stream, because like that was the thing around the time. Like I started in 2012 when Seth Rollins was there and Big E and all them were on the come up. You remember when Seth Rollins beat Jinder Mahal to become the inaugural NXT champion? That's around the time I started watching it.
I do remember that, because I would, like I said, even though I wasn't like watching it heavily, I would see highlights and stuff, and I would hear stuff that was going on down there at the time.
And that's the thing, like with Dusty Rhodes as the general manager, and then like 2013, 2014, and then 2015, everybody talks about the infamous Barkley show with Bayley and Sasha Banks and Balor. That really is what brought them into the forefront.
It really did. I mean, that will go down as one of the all-time great wrestling shows. I mean, everybody, like I say, that show put them on the map.
Absolutely. And I also will say this, with everything that's going on with NXT now, and we hear a lot of the rumblings with Triple H and them not being happy with the brand. I got to say, first and foremost, I watch NXT now. It has its moments, and I don't think it's bad, but I got to say, some of the moments in there, I'm just kind of like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you get those kind of vibes.
I do from time to time. It has its moments where like it doesn't feel the same as it did when they first got started, when it was like a 1 hour show when it was on the network and everything. But I still always say that's the best wrestling show out there right now. That's my favorite. I always look forward to Tuesday nights watching NXT. But I definitely see where you're coming from with that.
The reason I also say that too is because some of the stuff, and I mean, it's happened a couple times. It was kind of like, you know, this is something that they would do on the main roster. I'm like, this is not NXT oriented.
Definitely, I can definitely see that.
And I will say this, when it comes to NXT, when it comes to AEW, and I will always say this when it comes to professional wrestling fans, because you and I are kind of like on the same wavelength and the same level. Whatever you like, enjoy it. Just watch and appreciate wrestling for what it is. Stop with the wars. Stop with just butting heads. Just enjoy or agree to disagree and just watch wrestling for what it is.
Agreed, because it's as good a time as ever to be a wrestling fan right now, because you have so many different options now. You don't just have WWE. They're not the main show in town. You have AEW, you have NWA, you have Ring of Honor, you have New Japan. You got a lot of great independent wrestling. You can find something that you like. You don't have to just stick to just one show. Just like you said, just enjoy wrestling, because there's plenty of it out there for you to enjoy. You can find something that you like. You don't have to just put, like I said, you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. You can find something that you like.
I will say this, when it comes to professional wrestling, well, there's doggone wrestling like every day. Monday you got Elevation and you got Raw. Tuesday you got NXT and Dark. Wednesday you got AEW. Thursday you got NXT UK and friggin' Impact. And then Friday you got SmackDown. So wrestling's pretty much on every single day.
Yeah, pretty much. And also too, you got NWA Power on Tuesdays too. Yeah,
yes.
So you got that too. So you got wrestling pretty much every day of the week.
I'll be honest, I cannot keep up with a lot of it, but I do see things from time to time. And I will say this, if anybody is angry with how the main roster is being dealt with or just everything that's going on there, watch NXT or watch NXT UK. You'll thank us later, because you'll regain your sanity, if you will, you know?
You definitely will. And I would definitely recommend NWA Power too. They're doing some good stuff over there as well. Like I said, you can find something out there that you like. If you're tired of what's going on in WWE in the main roster, you can find some other type of wrestling show to get your wrestling fix.
Chris, how excited are you for the Empower Women's pay-per-view coming from NWA?
I'm looking forward to that. I will definitely be getting that, and I will definitely be watching that. That should be a very good event. I'm so happy for all them over there. I'm happy for what Mickie James is doing with this. It should be a very good show.
Melina and Deonna Purrazzo, bro. Melina and Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh, that could steal the show. That's gonna be a very good match with them. I look forward to that one.
And by the way, I will always say this, and she was not just an entrance, but how overrated, underrated was Melina.
Oh, very underrated. You look back now at some of the stuff that she was doing, and you definitely say absolutely she was definitely underrated as a character. You appreciate her more now. I know I definitely appreciate her more now than when she was having her big run when she was first getting started.
Excuse me, my apologies. No, I agree with you too, man. It's one of those things where it came to Melina. Like, I remember first seeing some of her work. Like, there was some OVW that I caught. There was an angle with her and Johnny Nitro against. You remember Kenny Dykstra, Kenny of the Spirit Squad?
Yes, I do remember him. Yes.
So they did an angle where, like, if Kenny beat Johnny Nitro, like, then Melina would be like his servant or whatever. He would have Melina's services, right? There was one angle that they did, I don't know if it's still out there, where Kenny's like, well, you got to do whatever I want. Then he just picks up Melina and he goes, to the bedroom. And I'm just like,
wow, I don't remember. Wow, that's crazy.
Now, mind you, this is 2005 pre-Spirit Squad. So,
oh my God.
And it was on OVW TV, but it was hilarious because it tied into the story of Melina and what they had, the rivalry that they had. But yeah, man. And here's the thing about that dude, too. Another one that was very underrated was Kenny Dykstra. That leg drop. That leg drop
was one of the best I've seen. Of all the Spirit Squad members, I liked him the best. I think he had a lot of potential. I actually saw him, I think it was him and Mikey at a MCW show like back in 2017 or 18. But yeah, he had a lot of potential, I felt.
I believe I saw them as well. It was around that time. So Kenny and Mikey, Mike Mondo has wrestled. Yes, has wrestled a lot in NYWC, the New York Wrestling Connection. They were actually the tag team champions there for a little while, and they won it at one show, and then they lost at another. But I got to see them live against the Hounds of Hatred, Boo and Bam Sullivan. Yes, the Hounds of Hatred.
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. Like, out of the wrestlers of that group, like Johnny was a good wrestler, Johnny Jeter. Nick Nemeth, of course, Dolph Ziggler. Kenny Dykstra, Mike Mondo. Mitch was the only one that sucked. He could not.
Yeah, he was the only one. He was not that good. But the rest of them, they were not bad wrestlers at all. Yeah, they had this cheerleader gimmick, but they were not bad workers at all.
I will say this: Nick Mitchell did win in life, though. He got to date Tori Wilson for a little bit. You lucky son.
Hey, lucky man.
Now, how funny was it that Elijah Burke was originally supposed to be in that group? Could you imagine Elijah Burke, the Pope, in that group?
Wow, I did not know that. That would have been interesting to see that. I had no idea about that.
So he was originally supposed to be in it, but remember that year they put him with Sylvester Terkay, for those who remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's one of those things too. It's interesting to see where you end up. And I mean, we have a lot of stuff that's funny with NXT now. The Index stuff is great. I love Indy Hartwell.
Oh, I love that. I love the two of them. I'm telling you. I say this with Cheetah all the time. Dexter, he says so much without saying anything at all. Just his facial expressions and just the way he interacts and everything. He's so talented. In Indy, she's becoming a bigger star as well. So I'm loving the Index stuff.
It's funny because if you look at now, do you remember Dexter Lumis' Samuel Shaw on TNA?
I do remember. Yes, I do.
From where he went to where he was obsessed with Christy Hemme because his mother's name was Christy, and that whole nuts angle, and bringing in Santana Garrett as Brittany, he's come a long way since those days.
He's come a very, very long way since those days. And he's a very talented artist too. You see those little characters and stuff that he does for the show. I think he's got I was telling Keith about this. He's got an Instagram page where he like sells that stuff too. So he's a talented artist as well.
I don't blame him. The dude can draw, but like you said, what's cool about it is you don't have to say anything. You could just have that facial expression, and it works. It works to your abilities.
Mm-hmm. And not many people could get away and do what he does. Not people could go out there and say absolutely nothing, but say so much at the same time. So what he's doing is very unique and very special.
And plus, he has that slither when he leaves the ring and comes to the ring, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
And that's the thing, too. First and foremost, I will always say this just because Keita always called her the Red Queen every time she would put over Eva Marie. I love you guys, but every time she would put over Eva Marie, I was like, no, and now she's back. What does Keita think about Eva Marie? I'm just curious since she's back now.
She's enjoying it, too. We've talked about that many a times, and I've told her she is trolling everybody. Everybody hates her and everything, but I love what she's doing. She thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread. She's not doing any wrestling, but she's this whole evolution stuff. I mean, at first I didn't fully appreciate what she was doing, and I didn't see what Keita saw. And I'm like, what are you seeing, this girl? I mean, obviously she's a cracker and everything, but what else do you see? But the more I watched what she was doing, I started to appreciate it more. So I enjoy what she does. I know a lot of people don't like her for obvious reasons, but keep doing what you're doing, Eva, because I find it very entertaining. I enjoy what she's doing. She's growing good heel heat, and I love that.
I gotta say, first and foremost, again, as someone who's known you for a very long time, I saw that friggin' action figure coming out. You just gotta rep it and put it on the gram, put up the post. Eva Marie.
Yes. I'm staring at it right now, actually. I got it hanging on my wall. I'm staring at it right now.
I gotta bust your balls about that because every time she comes on, you take the damn figure out, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I look at my action figure hanging here on the wall. I say, yes, the Red Queen. Yes.
Now, mind you, she is a beautiful woman. And can you believe, looking at that woman and the amount of time, like we were talking about, time flies, that woman's like 36 now. She's close to 40. Can you believe that?
It's hard to believe. She doesn't look it at all. She looks amazing.
Now, you know where I'm going to follow up with this because you and I were hot tonight. Dewdrop. How are we not just it's not like she was Piper Niven at all at NXT UK. It's not like she was in the Mae Young Classic. Dewdrop.
Like, how do you not know who she is? And of all the names, you couldn't come up with a better name for her? Why can't you just call her Piper Niven? Why? Why do you got to call her Dewdrop? Like, come on.
It was Corey Graves like, who is this mysterious woman with Eva Marie?
How do you not know who she is? Like, come on now. That like pissed me off. I'm like, dude, you do not know who she is. She's been around.
Did we not watch NXT UK? Oh,
clearly they don't.
Clearly God.
They don't, my friend.
And I know we're supposed to erase the history of NXT when they come on the main roster, but come on, like we know who.
Still, somebody should have known who she was. I mean, you can't be that out of the loop. Like, come on now.
So if you've been enjoying the storyline, we're going to get Alexa and Eva at SummerSlam this coming Saturday. As we're recording this is Wednesday night. Are you looking forward to Alexa and Eva?
That should be. I'm enjoying what Alexa's doing, but I'm curious to see how this match is going to be. I don't know how good it's going to be, but we're going to get some gimmicky type stuff in here. I don't know how good it's going to be, though. I really don't.
I will say this, though, but here's what's cool about it, Chris. Like, I was talking to Sassy Steffi about this. She's enjoying it for the story. Like, and a lot of people are giving her crap now because Bray Wyatt got released and they'll chant, "We want Wyatt." I'm like, this girl did not steal the gimmick. She is just giving what she's given. She enjoyed working with Bray. She's making the best of what she can with this gimmick. And she's really exceeding. And a lot of people really need to, like, give her credit for what the hell she's doing because it's taking on life of its own. We got the Lily thing. Is Lily coming alive? The story is progressing. We all just got to take the ride with it. Because, you know, remember when the Firefly Funhouse came out? Everybody's like, oh, my God, what are they doing to Bray Wyatt? And it became one of the top things in the company.
Very true. It was very entertaining. People look forward to those segments. And it's just amazing to see the character range that Alexa has shown. Because you see what she was doing in NXT to what she's done since she's been on the main roster. She's been one of the people that's come up from NXT and has actually had some decent success. They haven't just like buried her or anything like that. Because you know when they call people up from NXT, how it goes with a lot of them, male and female. But she's been one of the ones that's actually been very successful. And I'm enjoying what she's doing with this new character.
When she first came out in NXT with the sparkle splash and the blue and all that, cute girl. And she, first and foremost, anybody again who shames her for her looks, stop it. That woman is
that's uncalled for. That's not cool. Leave her alone. That's not cool at all.
And I think you can agree with me on this. That is a girl who just has natural beauty about her. That's it right there.
She does. And she's like a real sweetheart too. She's like a very nice girl.
The other thing I will say, dude, is like we started from the tutus and the sparkle splash. I remember when she turned heel and she dropped, what was it, blue pants? When the Vaudevillains were feuding with Murphy and
I believe so. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
I was watching it and I'm like, this is the girl who would come out and smile with the tutus, and I'm like, she's a good heel. She's good.
Exactly. She's a very good heel. Like I said, who knew she had this in her all this time when she was up with the sparkles and stuff? Who knew?
That was my where did this come from? And she was one of the top staples of that division 2015 before being called up. And I will say this, like we were talking about Eva Marie, during her first run, people say what they will, but if nobody has ever seen the match that she had with Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship, and again, this is Bayley, who could carry a broom to a good match, they actually had a great match. And this was when Nia was... It was a good match.
Very good match. Very good match.
If anybody wants to watch your match from her first run, watch the match with Bayley for the NXT title. And again, like you said, she was doing what she was doing because, you know, the glamour. She was like the Shawn Michaels and Nia was like her Kevin Nash.
Pretty much. Yep. Good stuff.
That's the thing, man. Like a lot of people don't sleep on that stuff. Really don't sleep.
Really don't. Don't sleep on it at all. It's good. It's good TV. Good TV, my friend.
Yep. And I will say this about you, Mr. Chris Durham. Speaking of good and doing our stuff with TV and everything, man, here you are on the screen, the promo screen. Dude, I will say this. You're kind of like my apology for what happened, and I'll explain this. So we had a Crooked Smile talent, if you will. He was a wrestler we brought in around the time Britt came in. So Brittany Savage did her thing in the promo league and our bouts and whatnot. We had her in for a couple of appearances. We got this gentleman coming in. Crooked Smile, who is with Chef as a part of the Joker's Wild podcast, now developed into the Urban Wrestling Network. Dude who's been 4 years in the business. Again, this is all supposed to be for fun. Britt understood it. Everybody understood it. This dude was whining like a little bitch that he took a loss. And I'll say that to him because he reminds me of a certain someone with the initials of JB. And you know where I'm going with this female here, this JB, who was in 4 years in the business. And it's just like, yo. You've only been in business for 4 years. That's all I'm going to say. So you're that apology and also a great part of what came out of that. So I got to say thank you because you were a bright spot of someone who I brought in because you've been killing it since day one down here.
Thank you. And I owe it all to you. Like I said, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing with Max Wrestling if it wasn't for you. You gave me the opportunity and I've just taken it. Because like I said, I'm not going to lie. I knew it was going to be fun. But I was nervous because I've seen a little bit of what you guys have been doing. I said, you guys are, good with these promos and everything. I said, I hope I can, live up to the expectations. And I cut my first promo, and then the rest is history. I've been enjoying it. But like I said, I owe it all to you because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So I thank you.
Oh, dude, well, you're welcome. I appreciate it. And you know me, man. I love including people for podcasts and stuff, anything that I can do.
Same here. Same.
No, but I look at it from a stance too, Chris. It's one of those things where, like, we needed some people for the Promo Bowl, and I'm trying to, like I said, I've made a lot of great relationships and decorum and professionalism with people. I'm like, you know what? Let me ask. I think Keita didn't. I went down the line because I've known you guys for so long. Keita was like, no. And here's the thing that what I love about Max. This will all tie in together and correlate. We have the variety. We have predictions. We have promos. We have trivia. If nobody wants to do a promo because they're camera shy, we totally get it. We have other stuff you can participate in. We have. So. She didn't want to do it. And so I was like, you know what? Let me ask Jay or let me ask Chris. You came up and I'm like, you know what, Chris, you want to do this? And you're like, sure. And then, like you said, the rest is history.
Absolutely. And I'm loving what you guys are doing over there. Like you said, you have something over there for everybody. You have the promos, you have the predictions, you have the podcast. You have a wide variety of things. So you can find something that kind of, find your niche, so to speak. So like I said, if you don't want to do the promos, you can do the predictions. So you have a wide variety of things that you guys are doing. And it's fun. At the end of the day, we're all having fun. That's the most important thing. You're having fun with what you're doing.
Absolutely. Now, I will say this to you, Mr. Chris Durham. Yo, first promo, you beat Ronald because Ronald did not show up. So it was a bye. And then you go on to beat the Phoenix, who was now the former promo champion and world champion. I got to ask you from the promo wise, because I'm like, dude, you got the charisma, you got the swag about you. What the money maker? Then you had the bat. Is that the Sting bat that you had signed? That's a Sting bat, right?
Yeah, the first bat I used in the promo was the Sting bat. I got that at an MCW show in 2017, I believe it was. I was out there. I think it was the Broken anniversary. When the whole Broken Hardys thing was going on, the Hardys were out there and they had like a merch table, and that was one of the things that they had on the table. I said, "Ooh, let me get this." And the price was good. I said, autographed Sting bat, why not?
And I mean, first and foremost, I look at it from a stance too. You cannot beat someone like the Icon Sting and the history and the allure of that bat. So I was like, all right, he's using the bat. He's bank on that. He's the money maker. Now, was that just something like, here, I have a bat, let me include this? Like, when you're going into the promos, like, it's like your trademark, man. You got the bat, we'll talk about the mask in a second here, Mr. Chris Durham, and your safety first and your mask. But, the Batman, what kind of made you want to use the bat and kind of go the way that you do? Because you also incorporate the music, man, because you have a lot of ideas and a variety. You want to spice up with your promos.
Absolutely. I try to keep it interesting. I try, do some different things, add the music, add the baseball bat. As far as the bat is concerned, it's just a natural fit because anybody that knows me knows is I'm a huge baseball fan. I love baseball. Ever since I was a little kid, love baseball, going to games, watching it. Of course, I got the podcast, the Grand Slam podcast, baseball podcast. I love baseball. So I figure, when I do this Moneymaker Chris character, why not incorporate the bat? Because I'm a huge baseball fan. It just makes sense to have the bat, to have a prop.
Absolutely. And I also will say this about you. All right, we're going to the mask now because because Moses got the promo on the last Max about you, and nobody can understand what you're saying, why you always got to wear the mask. Do you want to respond to the current promo champion?
Yes, I do. I heard what he said on the podcast, and I didn't respond because the Moneymaker doesn't have time to respond to such ignorance as what he said at the end of that podcast. Look, it's part of the character, the part of the Moneymaker character. I wore the mask in the first promo that I did. I plan on doing another promos. No, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna incorporate the mask into my character, and it's just become something I just and it's kind of fitting also with the times too, with wearing the mask and everything. So I just kind of incorporated it into my character. And as far as what Moses had to say, I mean, look, if you have a problem comprehending what the moneymaker has to say, I can gladly get you a hearing aid. I can get you some Q-tips. I can clean out those ears. I can do that stuff to kind of make you understand what I'm having to say. So hey, it's part of the gimmick, and it's not going anywhere.
I got to say, you did make an impression, though. In your first ever tournament, you become one of the PromoBowl champions, and then you go into the microphone standoff with Alexander Owen, who would later go on to be Travis the Walker Anderson, who we found out from the hacker side of things. And we had Mo, and we had Nicola the Demon S. Talk about the Fatal 4-Way, man, because right in there, right out the gate, you're going for the promo championship at your first ever Max Special, that being last year's promo series.
That was huge. That was a whole lot of fun. A lot of pressure, but at the same time, a whole lot of fun. I mean, you got great competition there. I mean, I've done a lot of great things so far in such a short period of time, but that's probably one of my favorite things I've done. And where I filmed my promo, getting to go back to an area that's very special to me, where I grew up, spent 10 years going to school, hanging out with friends, getting to go back there and film and cut that promo. It really meant a lot to me. It really was personal to me. I didn't win, but I felt I cut a good promo. And I kind of made an impact, letting people know that, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm not just a one-hit wonder. I'm here to stay. Moneymaker Chris is not going anywhere. I'm here, and I'm going to be, making an impact here in Max Wrestling.
Now, I look at it from a stance too, like, dude, here's what's cool, like the location and the accoutrements. It's the little nuances that go into a promo. Like when I had my promo with Brett at the last one, I'm like, all right, pop culture, we do a show together. Let's have some fun. And I'll be honest with you, that is me. I still have home videos, and I will always say this, of me doing the bye at 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the times, and that's me. I like to be silly and have fun. But that's what's great about everyone, and this is where I encompass. Like Travis has the mask; he likes to be dark, and he can also incorporate that and have the vest and the polyester, whatever he's doing. Bada bing. What's cool about it is too, Moses, he incorporates the El Jefe character. Jazzy has the shape and the jester. Nico's the demoness. Robert Davis has the crazy eyes. We are telling a story through our words. It's verbal art, man. It's an artistic form of verbalization, and that's what I love with these promos, man. And everybody shines through with their characters.
They really do, and we have some very good talent here, and it's great. It's like we get to be wrestlers without being wrestlers. We get out here to have characters, cut promos, no, we don't have to take any bumps or get hit with any chairs or fall off any ladders. We get to come in here and create characters, tell stories, and like I said, it's a lot of fun. If you're not having fun, then this is not for you. At the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, it's all about having fun and telling a good story. And like I say, win, lose, or draw, I enjoy what I do, and I'm enjoying seeing what other people do as well.
Agreed. And I will say this, from when we started this, the rehash of it in 2018, we had a lot of people come in. Now, Amir, here's why we're going to incorporate this. Amir, being the first promo champion, Amir Blackbank Costello, RWT Kingpin, he is a huge fan of your work, and he loves what you're doing. I think you have the #1 fandom of the one and only Mr. Amir Blackbank Costello, AT wrestler, everything that he's encompassed with his work. I mean, I know Amir is very high on you.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I'm glad he's cashing in with the moneymaker. I know you've talked to me about this many a times, and I appreciate that. I got a fan. I got a fan in the mirror, and I appreciate that. It's awesome. Like I say, I appreciate that. That means a lot. That makes me feel good that somebody appreciates and thinks of me that highly. So that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing.
And also, Dazzy has your theme stuck in my head every time it comes on. Let's get money, mother.
Oh, I love that. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, man, that's good. I said that was like perfect. I said, shouts out to Dazzy on that one. He picked a very good song. I love that. Love that. Big shouts out to Dazzy on that one.
Oh man, like I said, I still get it every time the beat hits. That let's get money, mother.
No, it's like perfect. I'm like, man, I don't know where he came up with that from, but I love that. It's very fitting. It's awesome. Love it.
That's the captain. And I look at it from a stance too. Moses has said this many times. He makes what we do special. And what I love about Max, it's different than any other podcast. Yes, we talk about professional wrestling. There's thousands of podcasts that talk about professional wrestling, but nobody will have like the type of challenges that we do. And some people look at it, oh, that's stupid. Why are you doing? Because it's different. We're thinking outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? And not just because it's fun, but it's like it's something different. Who just wants to hear, okay, this match happened, they won by submission, won by pinfall. Let's give something more for the people and have fun. And who didn't want to do that as a kid? Want to cut promos or look at themselves in the mirrors? What wrestling fan didn't do that,
Absolutely. I mean, you have belts, you have tournaments. I mean, it's shouts out to Dazzy. I mean, this whole little universe he's created with this Max Wrestling, promo order, and all the different stuff. It's absolutely amazing. And like you said, it's different. Nobody else is doing what you guys are doing what he's doing. Nobody is doing that. You got a lot of podcasts out here. A lot of people talking wrestling, talking sport, talking about a variety of different topics, but nobody is doing this. And it's always good to stand out. That's why I always tell people, like, they want to get into podcasts and stuff. Make sure you stand out, because a lot of people are out there doing it's a popular platform right now. A lot of people are doing podcasting. So I say one of the key things to podcasting, I feel, is always, no matter what you're talking about, always try to stand out and be different. And that's definitely what happens at Max Wrestling. No doubt about that.
I think from myself and from everybody, and I'll add on to that, like what I do outside of here with the LFC stuff, like nobody's talking about lingerie fighting championship and women.
No,
nobody's doing.
No, that's another unique thing. That's unique as well.
And people don't realize, like, they just think it's girls in lingerie. I'm like, no, there's a lot of like fitness stuff and stuff that goes into it and working at it. I mean, it's a variety. I mean, it first and foremost, sex sells. Who doesn't love a beautiful woman?
Exactly. I will always sell, no matter what. I will always sell.
I will say, I was joking with you. I'm like, I may have to quit podcasting now. And you're like, why? And I said, okay, as someone who's a pop culture fan and has his own show, and like, you talk pop culture, and we're like friggin' buffs. We're like jukeboxes, you and I. We're like human jukeboxes. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if someone's going to come out with a Hannah Montana podcast, I don't know, man. And you know what it is? That's fine, because it's nostalgia with shows. And I was a teenager when that started, so I don't have to like that. That is out of my demographic. But I'm like, all right, Hannah Montana. But still, at the same time, it's cool because that was a popular show. Hannah Montana.
It was a popular show. It was. And if that's what you want to do with your platform, hey, do your thing.
Hey, as long as you're not Drake Words, that's another thing.
Oh my God! Please don't follow down that path, please. Whatever you do.
We're not gonna just don't. Well, no. You know what's up with Drake Words.
I know all too well, more than I want to know.
The only thing I'll say is, how do you talk about being a God-fearing man and talking about political stuff, and then at the end of your biography on Instagram, former deathmatch king? Because that just fits right in.
Yeah, you just throw that in there. When you told me that, I'm like, really? He really put that out there? That's like that just doesn't add up. It makes no sense at all. Like, dude.
He went from America to former deathmatch king.
To former deathmatch king, yeah. In the name of Jesus, but I'm the deathmatch king. Like, come on. You can't make this stuff up. Like, dude.
I didn't want to go too much into it, but that part I had to bring up.
Yeah. So you can't resist on that. That's you can't make that stuff up. You really can't.
Get your punk ass out of here, Drake. Anyway, from Drake Words. So you go into the King of the Mic. Well, no, before King of the Mic, you're in the Iron Bank contract. Now, you were the fourth winner of the Iron Bank contract. It went from Kenny Killa. No, I'm sorry, Phoenix, then to Kenny Killa, then to me, and now you. So There has not been a cash-in that has been successful. Cash-in, we'll tie in that here in a second. There's not been a cash-in where someone has been successfully, cashed in. That was me this year. Now you also have that case. How does it feel to be the fourth winner of the Iron Bank contract? You still have many days to cash it in until next year, but what are we thinking about cashing in? Where are you thinking? You can challenge for the promo title, the knowledge title. What are you thinking, Chris? You got a lot on the line. The money is in your hands, my friend.
It is. With great power comes great responsibility. Man, it was great winning that Iron Bank contract. It's a big. I'm telling you, it's a big accomplishment. Despite what certain people named Moses want to kind of downgrade what I was doing with winning that contract. He was, like I said, he was in that same competition and had that same opportunity that I did, and he didn't get the job done. Same with Travis, had the same opportunity, didn't get the job done. Because, like I said, when Dazzy's throwing out those questions, you got to be on your A game, and I was on my A game that day, and I won the Iron Bank contract. And like I say, promo championship, knowledge championship. I already know exactly what championship I want to go after. I already have mine. The second I won that briefcase, I knew exactly what championship I want to go after.
So do you want to be like Rob Van Dam and say, I'm going to cash in here? Or are you just going to wait your time? Or are you going to be like Daniel Bryan where he's like, I'm not going to cash it. I'm going to cash it at WrestleMania. Then he doesn't cash it at WrestleMania.
I got an idea. I may save it for I may save it for the end of the show. I may have a little breaking news at the end of the show that I may reveal. So
all right. Okay.
Stay tuned.
Now, the cash-in, I will say, man, I had the privilege of being interviewed for your cash-in and everything that you do with the site and the whole thing that's really encompassed with your articles and podcasts that you have on your site. Can you talk about the website, man? Because like I said, it's well done, it's structured, and you really do provide a lot of great content.
Thank you. That's been a lot of fun. Actually, I did that last year, like during the peak of the pandemic. I mean, I was home because I was not working. I was furloughed for like 3.5, almost 4 months. So I had a lot of free time on my hands. So I said, you know what, I had the idea of doing the website, but I didn't have the time, but I had the time then. So I said, hey, why not work on the website? And I created through squarespace.com. And it's very fun. It's very easy to navigate. It's very easy to upload stuff on there. And it's fun. I put like the blog up on there. I put my products and stuff up on there that I sell as well. I put podcast stuff on there. Anything that I have going on, I always say I put up on the website. And I always, tell people to check it out, thecashingexperience.com. And it's just fun. That's like my own little space to be able to, like I said, articles and everything that I have going on there. And it's a lot of fun. It's cool to have my own website. Like I say, it's a lot of hard work went into putting that website together. I remember staying up many nights working on trying to get it right and get everything on that I wanted to. But I love it. I love having my own website. I think it's a very cool thing. And I'm glad people are enjoying it.
I look at it from a stance too, dude. Like, it's very accessible. Like with any website, it's very accessible to get to your links and to get to your shows. And we'll do the plugs at the end. But I really do enjoy, like, again, we talked about the variety with podcasting and shows and articles. Like, that's something that I love doing as well. I got a chance to do an article for the LFC podcast, but I'm like, it's cool, man. Just because the structure of the Q&As, like for me, like I remember as a kid, like writing in my notebook, like, writing articles and stuff. Like I knew I wanted to do something around that spot. Like who doesn't? But it's one of those things where it's very therapeutic and you really get to see your work and really, get outside the box, like we mentioned earlier.
So I've always enjoyed writing. I remember going back to my school days. Like I used to do poetry and little short stories and stuff, and that was fun and that was cool. But I always saw myself doing more because I knew I was a big sports fan, big wrestling fan. So I figured I wanted to kind of incorporate more of that type of stuff into my writing. That's one of the reasons I created the Cash-In. So I could have my own platform to talk sports, talk wrestling. Of course, then I have my football and friends. During the football season, I pick games from week 1 all the way up to the Super Bowl. I've had friends involved in that too. That's another thing I like about it too. I like getting my friends involved too. So it's not just me writing my articles. I like to get my friends involved in it as well. I like to include them, let them be a part of it as well. Because I know, like I said, a lot of people like you that are big into wrestling, big into sports, big into pop culture, variety of different things. So I like to incorporate my friends into it as well. So it's like we're all in this like together. That's one of the things I like about doing the different things that I do, getting to incorporate other people into it as well. So it's not just about me, it's about the other people too.
Agreed, man. Like I said, I always use the stance united, not divided. And you don't think I'm not gonna you didn't catch me slipping there, man. I'm gonna say it right now. Friends, how many of us have them? Friends.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. I don't even like Houdini. Next Friday. You know what's up.
Oh my God, yes.
So, okay. Now, let me ask you something there, Maya Angelou. Can you give us a little some of the poetry, man? Like, what type of poetry were you writing? Like, there's a particular haiku, dare I say a simile? I'm taking it back to English class right now. What kind of poetry were you writing about?
Oh my God. I was just anything that was like on my mind at the time. I wrote about sometimes I would write some love stuff. Sometimes I'd write just any thoughts and stuff I had. I had a variety. I mean, one of the poems I wrote, I remember I was saying like, I walk with a swagger. I forgot the poem. It was like I walk with a swagger, tall like a ladder. It was just like something that it just kind of came to me and it just kind of flowed. So I had a variety of different stuff that I was writing, and it was just like anything that was on my mind, on my heart at the time, just getting my feelings and emotions out there. And just like I said, just telling a good story. Just telling a good story at the end of the day. That's one of the biggest things I always, whether it was by poetry or short story, just telling a good story, just entertaining the people. That's what I like to entertain the people. So you could look at my writing, whatever I was writing about, and you could take something from it. It was entertaining. You could get something from it, like, oh my God, like you're drawn into what I was talking about at the time.
So what you're saying is you're kind of like Jewel back in the 90s when she was, homeless in the car and then she's writing poetry and then Kurt Loder is interviewing her and he corrects her grammar and she's like, you're a smart ass for pointing that out.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good example right there. That's a good example.
Friggin' Jewel over here talking about her bosoms in her poetry book. You remember that?
I do remember that. I do remember Jewel. Yes, I do.
Oh my God. But yes, so for those that don't know, Jewel had a poetry book and she would write about like her bosoms and she would write like about stuff much like Chris is talking about. But yeah, man, like I just said, Jewel get into the poetry side of things, man.
Absolutely. I do remember that. I do remember her doing that.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, who cannot forget about, poetic justice? I'm talking about Janet Jackson. I'm talking about Tupac.
Yes. Yo, yes. Who can you not remember that one?
Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing too, when it comes to like poetry and stuff, and this is why I love it. I'm glad that we were talking about this. Poetry, journals, what have you. We were talking about the therapeutic side, but it's something that just really is like that pen to paper. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just write your story like we were talking about. Because like we talk about with wrestling, it's athletes using their bodies as a story, right? Through words and through their actions. But what's really cool about that is just there's something about it that I don't think a lot of people can really understand. That pen to paper, man. And then once you start going and getting the juices flowing, it's like that. It's like think of 8 Mile when Eminem's on the bus and he's writing out the raps. That's a perfect example to equate it to.
It's so therapeutic. It's being able to just sit down there with a pen and paper and just writing out whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart. It's something just, or if you keep a journal, whatever you decide to do, just putting pen to paper. It's just something about that. If you haven't experienced that, it's hard to explain, but it's just something about that. It's just a good feeling being able to do that and just thoughts coming to your mind. It's just an amazing feeling. You're in that zone. Something comes to your mind. Oh, I think this would sound good. Put this word together. Or you might write something, like sit it down for a little while, come back to it, add to it, take away from it. There's just something about that that's, very unique and special.
Absolutely is. And I will also say this, what's also very special, man, and we'll take it back to the Max Wrestling front here. First King of the Mic tournament, you wind up going through Ryan Sutcliffe, which I'm going to say right now, the Cannon in the background, the Ryan Squared, which Ryan is another entertaining young man, and he is absolutely killing it. Ryan has actually wrote some books, which you guys can check out on Amazon. I'll send you the books, man, because I got to say, Ryan, you're a hell of an author, and you're doing the damn thing from the literature side of things.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Good for
Ryan,
him. That's awesome.
Ryan has 2 books out. I'll put the links in. I'll actually, you know what? I'll send Daz the links everybody can check out Ryan's books. What's cool about it too is, man, like he's another very creative dude. He lit the match. He was like, I'm not impressed with you. Here I am, straight to the point. Boom. You got the cannon in the background. You're talking about Ryan squared. You hit him. He hit you back. It was a great mesh. This was Ryan's first second promo because he did the stuff at the Demoness at Trivia Takeover with the Ryan squared crew. But god dang, man, he went solo and he's doing the thing with you. That was a very enticing promo. And I got to say, you both killed it in the opening.
That was fun. Like I said, what I did was really good. What he did was really good. I think our styles kind of meshed really well together, and that was a whole lot of fun. So big shouts out to Ryan. I'd love to do battle with him again. But yeah, that was a great first challenge for me. I really enjoyed our little battle there in the first round of the King of the Mic.
So the Phoenix too as well. Now we have to have that rubber match with you and the Phoenix because the Phoenix got you on this round.
That's what I was saying. No, I got him the first time. He got me the second time. We got to have that rubber match. We got to have Phoenix versus the Moneymaker Part 3 at some point. But yeah, big shouts out to him. After I let him know, hey, got me. Much respect to you. I enjoyed doing battle with the Phoenix. So he got me this time around. But like I said, at some point there will be Phoenix versus Moneymaker Part 3.
Mr. Aaron Rodgers over here. I see. You don't think I'd missed that.
That's right. I'm sending you Green Bay packing. Get out of here.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say this, Mr. Football, because this also ties back to Moses. Moses is a big San Diego Chargers fan, so, I mean, y'all can talk. I'm going to say right now, Moses is very smart about his football. If nobody has checked out Moses, and besides outside the Max Wrestling auspices, he's a really talented son of a gun. He does his work with the Retro Rewind and Smart Mark, but him, like both of us, also does a variety. He talked about the XFL, and he has a show called Bolt Rant where he talks about football. So I got to say, the two of you can mesh about the Chargers and football and just in general,
Oh, yeah, very cool. And it's go fitting. His Chargers take on my Washington football team each one of the NFL season. So go figure.
I gotta bring that up because he was so salty about the Redskins and the whole thing. It's funny, but no, you two would have a great time. I had to put that out there because Mo is big into his Chargers like you were with the Redskins. So y'all are palpable with the fandoms.
Yes, yeah. We love our sports teams. That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
Okay, let me tell you something about the promo champ again, because like we talked about the mask and pretty much your trivia content, man. He's not even calling you by your name. He's calling you CD. He reduced you, and I made him laugh with this because he knows me, and I know, again, the pop culture side, this is why I love you both. But he pretty much reduced you to the bartender at Walker, Texas Rangers. CD, remember CD? That was the place that they went to at the I'm like, dude, freaking call him CD. I mean, he's not Walker, Texas Ranger. This is Chris Durham. This is the moneymaker. And I mean, it was funny, but I got to say, he's not even acknowledging you, man. He's not even acknowledging your name. Not even Moneymaker Chris. You're just CD. You're just CD.
The disrespect and the hate is just so real. I'm like I said, if you're going to address me by my name. I'm Moneymaker Chris. Even call me by my government name, Chris Durham. I'll accept that. But just to say CD, like, really? Like I said, the disrespect and the hate from Mr. Mo is so real. Unbelievable. But like I said, the ignorance and the disrespect. Unbelievable. But that's okay. Okay.
All right.
Keep poking the bear. See what happens. Keep poking the bear and you see what happens to you. Okay. I watch everything. I'm observant of everything. If I might not say anything, I watch everything. So, okay. I'll remember that.
You're just kicking that dirt off your shoulders. What you doing?
Exactly. I said, okay, I got you. It's gonna be like that. Okay.
Well, Travis was another one in the semifinals, and I love Trav, but he was another one that was just like, you know what? He's like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge your name. I'm like, the heat is on with you, Chris, man, because one's calling you Taki, one won't even say your name. Say your name. Say your name.
Say your name. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. I'm not on the promo slam card. I'm not. They wasn't in the finals for the King of the Mic, and these people still can't keep my name out their mouth. I'm telling you, I must be doing something. They want to keep talking about me. Hey, I must be doing something. Let's keep getting their attention. Like I said, okay. I remember that as well.
Well, you're going to be in PromoBowl, man. This is your second PromoBowl coming up in a few weeks.
That's right. PromoBowl is definitely coming up.
So you're looking to be you're looking to get to the finals when we get the promo series in November, man. So, I mean, Again, you made your mark in the first one, so I look forward to seeing who else will be in the Promo Bowl. I know you are confirmed, and I know Chris Maldonado will be back for another round of the Promo Bowl. And I believe we're going to try to get Chad and Ryan up in there. So it's going to be cool, man, to see the different names and the different people going into Promo Bowl and really toning and brushing up on some skizzles.
Absolutely. I said I had a lot of fun, last year making my debut at the Promo Bowl. So I look forward to what happens this year in 2021. So the Promo Bowls, it's become very, very special to me. So I look forward to the competition this year. It should be fun. Like I said earlier in the show, like I said, at the end of the day, this is all about it's competition, but at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun.
Yeah, and it's all to have fun and put some respect on your name. I had to get that part out too. Just put
exactly. Put some respect on the Moneymaker's name. Like, come on now. If you're gonna address me right. It's Moneymaker Chris, and don't you forget it.
Yeah, there you go. But dude, I will also say this about you. Like, we've done a lot of shows together, and again, you being under the Max Wrestling auspices, like, you're one of those guys who, what I also love about you is too, like, you always stay busy. And because that's why I appreciate you, because you're always doing the stuff with Kita, you're always doing your own work. But I'm like, you're always like on the grind, and I gotta say, work ethic like that, and work ethic just in general, really goes a long way. So again, you're showcasing that with your content, bro.
Thank you. I mean, I've learned that from a young age. That, having a strong work ethic it's very important, and I enjoy staying busy. When I'm doing podcasts and stuff, when I'm doing stuff with the cash in, football and friends, whatever it is, I enjoy staying busy, and I feel hard work pays off. No matter what you're doing, whatever you're and it's even better when it's something that you're passionate about. Because everything that I do is something I'm passionate about. If I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't be doing this. So I like having busy. Sometimes, yeah, you're gonna get tired, you get worn out and everything. But at the end of the day, I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy staying busy. And I'm just gonna keep at it, man. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up at all. I enjoy what I do, and I'm gonna continue doing what I do.
Now, we mentioned Dazzy earlier. Not only did you go for the promo title, you also went for the world title back in January, and you and Dazzy tore it down, the Jester. I got to say, that's another one I think a lot of people want to see around two of you and Dazzy.
Oh, absolutely. That's where I was disappointed. I mean, I was cool going against the Phoenix, but I was I understand why. I was looking forward to facing him because I figured I owe him one because he beat me at Promo Rumble. But yeah, we can mix it up again. Whether it's the shape, the Jester, it doesn't matter. I like that he's got an interesting character mix with his persona as well. But yeah, that was fun. The first person to challenge for that Max Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. That was awesome. That was another fun promo.
I look at it from a stance too, like you got, again, so quick because it was down to you, Cypher, and DC, Daniel Crimmins, to go against Dazzy at Podcast Promo Rumble, and you won the popular vote. Like, you and Cypher were like neck and neck in that vote. I do remember that.
Nice. And the people spoke. The people wanted to see the Moneymaker versus the Shape, the Jester. They wanted to see that match take place.
I'm gonna say right now, man, with the most music in the jukebox that we do, like, me, man, I'll dress and I'll act wild, buck wild, if you will. But yo, man, I'm just waiting for you to like start rapping, or like with all the music that you've incorporated with your Aaliyah poster, sir. Like, I didn't see that Aaliyah poster, man. That baby girl, Mr. Chris Durham, with your Aaliyah poster, sir. You got to start rapping in your promos now.
You never know. You never know what the Moneymaker might do. I try to keep it fresh. You never know. I might bust out a rhyme sometimes. You never know. You never know what to expect with the Moneymaker. But I will tell you this: you will be entertained. No matter what I do, you will be entertained. I will make it entertaining for you.
I will say, low key, don't let the demoness in her vibes, just her overall poetic assassination with her words and just her overall character. That girl can rap. She can actually beat. I'm going to say this right now, low key, and she'll smile and she'll call me a cheeky sod for saying this, but I got to say right now, ask Nicola to rap for you. It's the greatest thing in the world. Trust me. You will.
Really? Okay. Like shouts out to her. I love everything she does too with her persona and everything. But I didn't know she had some rap skills. Okay.
Well, I may or may not be sarcastic with it, but the girl does actually. She can do a little boom chicka, boom chicka, boom chicka. It's all love with Nicola, but I'm just saying right now, man. You just
okay. I did not know that. I'll have to inquire about that. Okay.
Yeah, just ask her. Trust me. You'll thank me after you ask her. Trust me on that.
Okay. Like I said, like I always say, you learn something new every day. I had no idea about that.
Well, she's another one like you, which I'm so glad that she got brought into this because she's another one who's was very nervous at first, but like again, she really came into her own, and that's another one who's just a very, very strong individual, and another one who just kills it from the dark side of things, man. She could kill you, but she could do it with a smile, or she could kill you, but her words are so inclined where it's just like, all right, man, I know what's about to happen. She tried to axe me. I escaped the axing, but hey, everything that Nicola's done, she kills it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because we've talked about this. Like the first time she got started, she told me, she was very nervous, didn't know what she was doing. But now you look at her now, you see the confidence that she has with this character. It's dark, it's twisted, she's taking tongues. But I love it. I love what she does. And I was so disappointed. I was looking forward to the finals, me versus the Demoness. I think that my character, her character, we could do some very good things together. We faced it, at promo series, but I think one-on-one, I think we could do some good things. But I love what she does. So shouts out to the Demoness. Shouts out to Nicola.
Hey, man, I'm just going to say right now, there's a future promo exhibition for a future Max special. There you go. There you go.
Hey, you never know. You never know. I'd definitely be down for that. Love what she does.
I will say this, with everything that we've done, and I'll go back to before we get into some other topics here, but god dang, man, everybody, this is a shout out to everybody, from Chris, from Dazzy, from Travis, to Moses, from Nicola, to Robert Davis, from everybody down. This is what we love. This is why I got to say, I love y'all. I know you love them, Chris. God dang, man, this is a great group. This is not just a group of a core. This is a family, and we're going to keep going on and on to the break of dawn, baby, with these promos and Max Wrestling. So got to give a shout out to everybody. Chris, I know you'll echo in those sentiments.
Oh, absolutely. I will definitely echo. I know we talk a lot of smack back and forth. We play around with the promos, with our characters and everything. But at the end of the day, much love and respect to everybody in the group. We got a great core group of people. We got some really good people here at the end of the day. So I enjoy, being a part of the family. Like I say, it's like a family. We got a little family going here. And I love that. Like I say, at the end of the day, we cut promos back and forth. But at the end of the day, it's all love. So much respect to everybody in Max Wrestling and in the promo order. Much respect.
I will say, Corey and Dan, who are in our little group chat, y'all got to stop at your food, man. Y'all make me hungry with Dan on his friggin' barbecue and Cypher's whipping up this and that.
Oh,
man.
my God. Yeah, they always bring it with the food. I'm like, they throwing down. They really are.
And there's nothing wrong with that because first and foremost, I was in family consumer science, which also was like home ec in middle school. I couldn't cook with a damn. We had to make friggin', oh my God, what the hell is it called? The stuff that you put on the salad. Help me. I'm drawing a break. No, the croutons. Croutons, yes.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even do croutons. I couldn't do nothing, man. How about you just give me some cookies and I'm happy? Don't even cook them. Just give me a cookie. I got a sweet tooth, man. But yeah, no, I was never the cook, and I'll own up to that. But yeah, no, God bless you.
Same here. Yeah, I never had that in school. I wish I did, but yeah, I was never the cook either.
Hey, man, the only thing I remember about that class is they made us sew, and there was a lot of guys out there like, I'm not going to sew. I don't sew. And there are guys that sew, which is cool, but it's like, it's the manly macho-ness of, I'm not going to fucking sew. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you never know, that could be a skill that, comes in handy down the line. I need to sew up, sew up some pants or some shorts. So you never know, because it's skill that comes in handy. You never know.
Matt
But I get the concept. That doesn't seem like the quote-unquote manly thing to do.
It's that machismo, Chris.
Yeah, there you go. I understand. I definitely understand.
I mean, Matt Hardy, when they had the early Hardy Boy gear, he sewed all that gear himself. That is a talent, man. That is a talent.
Yeah, oh yes, that is a skill set. That anybody that knows how to sew and can do stuff like that is absolutely amazing. Look at Bianca Belair. She's made the dress that she wore on ESPN. She made that. She makes a lot of the gear and stuff as well. That's a skill set. That's talent right there.
That's the thing too. Like, she wasn't even in the business that long, and I first saw her on the Mae Young Classic, and she's doing 450s, and she's whipping her hair back and forth like she's Willow Smith. I'm like, God dang, man, this girl's got personality. She looks in great shape. Like, you knew there was going to be something about her. Now look at her now.
She had that it factor. You knew there was something there, and once she put it all together, she was gonna just rise to the top. And now look at her, one of the biggest stars in WWE right now.
Agreed wholeheartedly. And I also look at it from a stance too. Like, I'll be honest, like, I know that theme song of hers, I'm on my own against the wall. It's good.
It's catchy, very, very catchy. A very good theme song.
What theme songs do you have on your playlist? Because I know you got a lot of wrestling themes on your playlist, right?
Oh my God. I always do the Evolution theme song. I love that theme song. I love the Undisputed Era theme song. I like the new Roman Reigns theme song. That song, you listen to that hits hard. And that Hit Row theme song hero. I like that. I like that theme song too.
It's very a mafia like that new Roman Reigns because he's ahead of the table, but it fits.
Yes, it fits perfectly because it was time for him to get away from the remix Shield song. He needed to get away from that. He needed to fully evolve from the Shield character. But this theme song, it fits him so perfectly. It really does.
I will say this about Swerve. I do enjoy me some Hit Row just because, I mean, we were talking about this. I sent you because if people, it's very underrated. And I think a lot of people should really check out Swerve's podcast. His podcast is not bad. It's actually really good. They have a lot of great topics. But, dude, Donnell Jones, I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I got to show Chris this. Donnell Jones being on the Swerve City podcast, man.
I'm so glad you shared that with me because I knew he had the podcast. I never really checked it out. When you said he had that, had Donnell Jones on there, I'm like, oh man, I gotta listen to this one. That was awesome. That was a very good podcast with him on there.
That is our childhood, bro. That's 99 2000, Where I Want to Be. Like that album, again, another one, talking about albums, top to bottom.
Another great album right there. Another very good artist right there. And Donnell Jones, who's had a variety of hits, albums, and songs over the years.
Now, one that a lot of people sleep on, like I remember 02 when it came out because I remember listening to it on 98.7. You remember You Know That I Love You, Pretty Baby? That one? Remember You Know That I Love You?
Yeah, I remember. That's another good.
That's the thing, too. I mean, then he came out with like Don't Trip, and then he had, It Ain't All About the Sex with Her. And then they did the John B. Like, okay, we talked about this. John B. Him and him did that at the BET Awards, right? They did Someone to Love and oh my God, They Don't Know, and Where I Want to Be, and You Know What's Up. And then they did that other song that you showed me, which was good. I'm like, can we get more of them just like together?
Because when they did that and when they came out with the song, I knew for sure that they were gonna do some type of collaborative album together. And I'm very disappointed because I love that Understand song that they did. I played that. I got that in my playlist. I play that on a regular basis. I was like so disappointed because I think those two could put out a very good album. Like. They just kind of like dropped it. They gave us one song and they said, oh, that's it. That's all you get. Nothing else.
It's like when we had LSG with Gerald Levert, Keith Sweat, and Johnny Gill, and they had My Body, and like nothing after that.
Exactly. And then when we had Genuine, Tank, and Tyrese, they had their little group going on too. They dropped that one album and then that was it.
Exactly. I think when it comes to LSG, the only thing I remember from My Body besides the song in itself, one of my favorite lyrics, that 9110024.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Absolutely is. And I mean, there's a lot of artists that went solo that were good. Like Blackstreet had, oh my God, what's his face? Dave Hollister had Spend the Night and all those good songs as a solo career when he first left Blackstreet.
That's another one right there. Got some good songs.
All right, now I'm going to ask you, Blackstreet, Dave Hollister or Chauncey Black?
Ooh. That's tough, but I give the slight edge to Dave. I give him the slight edge, but that's a toss up. You can't go wrong either way.
True. I mean, Dave Hollister was on Before I Let You Go, which was great, and all the songs. And Chauncey Black was on, of course, No Diggity and Don't Leave.
Diggity, yeah. Like I say, that's a tough call. That really is.
How good is it though to have Aaliyah's music back on Spotify, right?
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That's something they should have did a long time ago. They really should have.
Agreed. Now I will say this as well. Like, I was 8 when Try Again came out, and that was on MTV, the Romeo Must Die soundtrack. That soundtrack is the bomb. He'll be back in one piece with DMX. Rest.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
Oh. I got to say, folks, again, late 90s, early 2000s, that was the peak. That was one of the peaks of music, man. You cannot go wrong with that type of R&B from 90s and early 2000s.
No, and in the music today, it just doesn't hit the same. That time period was just like classic artists, classic songs, and we probably will never see a time period like that again, unfortunately.
I mean, we've talked about this. Like, the one that I'm into right now is that G-Eazy, Chris Brown, and Mark Morrison, because it's Mark Morrison's Return to the Mac, but sampled. That's not bad.
That's not bad. I like that. I added that to my playlist. That is a good song. I do like that.
I would also like to thank Nia Jax and Reggie and Shayna Baszler for that. Shayna Baszler, I'm going to say it right now. People say what they want. Just watch your TikTok. It's absolutely hilarious when they were dancing in the whole 9 to 2 close. Oh, Shayna is my boo, man. Shayna is my boo.
It is. I'm telling you. Because at first she was like, I don't want to be bothered with that. What are you guys doing? But to see her kind of getting into it, she's got some moves. I said, okay, Shayna. I love her. I love Shayna. She says she's not just a good, she's not just a submission magician, but she got some moves. She got some moves.
And here's the thing, what I would also like to add about that, because she's one of the ones that's very underrated, because everybody talking about Ronda with the MMA 4 horsewomen. From a fighter standpoint and a wrestler, like people go, oh, well, that's boring. She just does the hold and stuff. I'm like, that's systematic dissection, joint manipulation. What she's doing is wrestling. It's not constantly, aerial assault and I'm going to do a dive off the rope. What she does is wrestling.
It is. And I remember because like I said, I had heard about her, but I didn't really see a lot of her stuff. The first time I really got to see her was when she was in the Mae Young Classic. And the moment I saw her, I said, this girl is a star. She is going to be a big time star. She is a badass. I was very impressed with her.
And I mean, one of the women that she did face is now released, Mercedes Martinez. And I'm just going to say right now, she was in the middle of the story with Xia Li and what they were doing there. And I'm like, how do you release this girl? She's a veteran. She's good. She took her over, 20 years to get to the WWE. We're working on the indies. And then you release her now. Friggin', I'm glad that they brought her down to NXT. Thank God they got rid of her from Retribution. But dude, you had a veteran right there.
You really did. I was very surprised by that. She was getting some TV time. She was doing the stuff with Xia Li, and I'm like, you just like left it. You just let her go. I was of all the releases, that one definitely caught me off guard. But remember I was telling you I'm going to an event in October. It's called Baltimore Celeb Fest 2. They just announced this week that Mercedes Martinez is gonna be there, so I gotta get a chance to meet her. So
nice.
Yeah, I will definitely, like I said, when the tickets come out for her, I think she's definitely going to be one of the ones I will definitely meet that day.
Let me know how that goes, because I'm going to say right now, people also in the Northeast, they're doing WrestlePro. It's Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Martinez for the title, man. I cannot wait to see that. Deonna and Mercedes, that's a matchup right there.
That's going to be good. Oh, yeah, I saw that advertised. That's going to be a very good matchup.
Jerry Lawler and Enzo Amore for Northeast Wrestling in a casket match. What the actual hell, man?
I really thought that was fake. I said, no way, they're really doing this casket match. I said, there's no way, but they actually had a casket match. I'm like, why? Why? And I don't like people might not like him. I like Enzo. I think he's very entertaining, but you don't need to do that. Like, no,
Okay.
Just no.
All right, hold on. So I saw them go 1-on-1 when they announced on the poster, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, why are we doing this?
Why? If y'all just want to have a match together, fine. But why do you have to have a casket match? Like why? Like, do we really need to see this in 2021? Jerry Lawler, Enzo, in a casket match? Just no.
Lawler, who hasn't had a casket match since the early 90s with The Undertaker, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Why? I have no words for that. That's we don't need that. We really don't. It's unnecessary.
And I'm going to say this about Enzo. Him and Cass, when they were in NXT, they got over. And same with the main roster.
Big time. They were over. When that music dropped, those guys were over. Say what you want about them, but they were over big time.
And then they did the friggin' heel turn, and then it went to shit.
Yeah, it went up. Exactly. It went downhill from there.
Oh, my goodness. But no, that's the thing, too. And he was another one. Again, say what you will. He could talk. He really could talk. He could
talk. He was a promo. Not the best wrestler, but from a promo standpoint, he was one of the best.
Now, I will say this. When he first came out, friggin' started rapping as friggin' Enzo. Yeah, oh, my God. I'm going to say this right now. Are you a fan of his music or
Not really. It was one song I heard that wasn't too bad, but I'm not a fan of him rapping. If he wants to just cut promos and stuff, I'm cool with that. But rapping, not so much.
Hey, I tried to. I tried
to too. Like I said, I can't remember. It was one song that wasn't too bad, but most of his songs, I'm like, no. Especially that first song he did.
Oh God, my fucking talking about his penis. Oh my God.
Yeah, sensual penis. I'm like, dude, like what? Really?
Okay, so when it comes to now, Dazzy and I will talk about this all day. And I had the pleasure and privilege of getting it autographed when I was 13, and it was one of the best days ever. John Cena and the Trademark, You Can't See Me. Very underrated rap album. People will give Cena crap for putting out a rap album, but that album was good. Do you remember?
It was. He's, like I said, you say what you want about him. He's not a bad rapper. That album was actually decent. I give credit where credit is due. I'm with you on that one.
Now, Mr. Iron Bank, since you won it in trivia, I'm going to ask you the question. Do you remember? So his cousin, the Trademark, who was also on the album, Mark Pretka, the bald guy, right? So do you remember whose theme song he sang in TNA?
Ooh, I do not know. I don't know that one.
Kurt Angle.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So when Kurt Angle would rise to the ring and that I'm focused, I'm lit up, that song, that was the trademark.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Okay,
So
something else new today.
there you go. So when there's one of the pay-per-views, he's actually in the audience with Karen, where they were like trying to be like Kurt and Karen were having problems, but it was a ruse so Kurt Angle could help out Samoa Joe. And first of all, that's wrestling right there. Karen Angle goes from Kurt Angle to Jeff Jarrett, and they've made peace. But god dang, man, that's the wrestling business all in itself.
That's the wrestling business for you. Go figure with that one.
Oh my god! And I will say this: I've met her. She was nice, and we've talked about it. Friggin' Revy Sky needs to just shut up. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Yeah, what Matt sees in her is beyond me. I mean, that just seemed like such an unlikely pick because Matt just seems so cool, chill, down to earth, and Revy just, a fireball. It's like I know the opposites attract, but I just don't see what he sees in her. I really don't.
Bro, they're on 5 kids now. Baby,
she just had a baby. What in back June, July? She just had a freaking kid. And then pregnant again. Like I
don't know. That man can't keep his hands off his wife. I mean, all right, God bless you, but damn, man.
Damn, ease up. Take it easy.
I mean, Jeff is just over here with his 2 girls, and friggin' here's Matt with 5 kids.
5 kids. Unbelievable.
Well, he's got kids. He's the new Heath Slater. He's got kids.
Yeah. He's definitely the new Heath Slater. He's definitely got kids.
So we're going to be doing predictions this week, going for the Predictions Championship. Are you excited for Saturday SummerSlam and Sunday NXT TakeOver? What are you looking forward to on the cards?
I'm looking forward to both. It is a good weekend of wrestling. I'm looking forward to Seth Rollins and Edge. I think that's going to be a very good match. I was at that last Raw, and I guess it was 2014, 15, where he was like about to curb stomp him. That was in DC. I was at that Raw. I remember that, and I was just hoping. Obviously, I knew at the time, he couldn't wrestle. I was hoping those two would be able to at some point have a match. Now we're finally getting to see that. I look forward to that. Cena and Roman, that's going to be very good. I'm looking forward to that one. NXT, they always deliver. You got Joe and Cross. That's going to be very good. I mean, you got solid cards on both ends. It's going to be a good weekend of wrestling. I look forward to both shows.
So you guys can check out the predictions when we do it up in the group and see the results and go for the Predictions Championship. Anybody who wants to give their predictions for the upcoming SummerSlam and NXT pay-per-views, please send them in Max Wrestling's way in the Max Wrestling Facebook group, or just send it to myself, Dazzy, and we'll take care of you for the prediction side of things. So you guys can check out Promo Slam this week from our side of the things. We got Travis versus Chad James for the Max Wrestling World title. We got myself and Cypher in a promo exhibition. We got Travis and Mo for the promo title. We got the predictions titles on the line. We got a lot of great stuff, man. So check out your wrestling and check out Max Wrestling this coming week with our specials, and it's a good time to be a pro wrestling fan, man.
It really is. Like I said, a lot of good stuff going on in the wrestling business. A lot of good stuff going on with Max Wrestling. So check it all out. It's going to be a very good weekend, of wrestling. I look forward to everything that's going to be going down.
Well, Chris, I will say, as always, it's a pleasure and a privilege. I love you, my friend. Please promote
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Same to you.
Please promote the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please promote everything that you got going on, man.
Oh, yeah. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at MoneymakerChris, as well as Instagram, DC Sports Fan 23. Also, my original page is back up and working. I changed the name. It's at the Moneymaker 315. Follow me on that page. As well as we talked about earlier, my website, thecashinexperience.com. Everything is up on there. Blog, products, you name it. Anything that I have going on is up on the website, thecashinexperience.com. And also the Grand Slam podcast, which I just did yesterday, part of the TV Zone podcasting network. Shout out to Mr. J. Giles on there. We not only do TV and movies and stuff over there, we also do sports. Like I said, the Grand Slam podcast, and also 3 and Out podcast, football podcast that will be coming back really soon, since football season is right around the corner. So keep a lookout for that as well. Anywhere we can listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, you can find. You just type in TV Zone Podcast and Network. Check out all the great content on that network. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Now, do you have some breaking news that you wanted to share at the end of the show here?
You know what? I was thinking, maybe I may make a cash in, but you know what? I think I may hold off. But I will say this. When I cash in that briefcase, I will be successful. I plan on being the first one to be a successful cash in, whatever it is. Knowledge championship, promo championship. I know what championship I'm going after. I already know what championship I want to go after. But when the time is right, I'm gonna cash in that briefcase and I am walking out a champion. I'm gonna be ready to go to battle. I'm gonna be ready to go to war against either the promo championship champion or the knowledge champion. I will say that I'm watching Promo Slam very carefully because when the time is right, I'm cashing in that briefcase and I'm walking out a champion, and you can bank on that.
We will leave it on that. For Moneymaker Chris, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you guys for listening to another edition of Beyond the Max. Mr. Chris Durham, you're my buddy. Once more, to reiterate the point, I love you. Thank you so much, as always, for your time.
Love you too, man. Thank you for having me. Glad we finally got a chance to do this. This was a lot of fun.